I have kind of an obsessive personality. If you don't know someone who's obsessive, all you need to know is it's a very sexy quality. Like, your husband will disappear down an Airbnb rabbit hole for 7 hours, and when he comes up for air, he'll eat a whole box of Triscuits, and you'll think, I want to bang this guy. My wife and I hate going to parties, but we love driving away from parties. A few years ago, we went to our friend Katie's birthday, and this lady got up and gave a speech, which isn't a thing. And that's why I remember it so well. She said, last year, Katie and I went scuba diving, and her oxygen tank got stuck on the rocks, and I wriggled it free, and I may have saved her life. I saved your best friend's life. And Jen and I lock eyes from across the room, and we project the sentence, we're gonna talk about this for years. And we have. So here's how it comes up. Whenever Jen and I do something sweet for one another, like if she zips me up in my sleeping bag before bed, which she will do, and she'll say, it's time to put you in your pod, and I'll say, thanks, and she'll say, I saved your best friend's life. Typically, I get back to my hotel around 11 o'clock at night, and the thing about healthy food is it goes to bed early. Healthy food's like I'm heading in for the night. I got a big morning providing nutrients. Unhealthy food is like, I'm gonna hang. I saw a microwave on the corner, I'm gonna pop it in and see what happens. And pizza stays up all night. Pizza loves to party, and I love pizza. Like, my problem with pizza is when I see a pizza, I can only view it as a single serving. And more often than not, it was designed for a group, and I'm physically drawn to it. It's almost sexual. Like, I wouldn't have sex with a pizza, but if I ate a pizza alone, I wouldn't mention it to my wife. Does that make sense? Like, I love pizzas so much I get excited when I see the word plaza. Because the word pizza itself is pretty exciting. It has pizza slices in it. Each of the Z's is 2 slices. The A is a slice. It's 5 slices in one word, which is a rarely used literary device that I invented called Onomatopizza.
I got arrested by a woman cop and put in a headlock.
I don't like how you said woman cop. It was very obnoxious. It really was. I'm fine with it. It's a comedy show. Anything can happen. We're all friends here. But it just did rub me the wrong way. You know, women can be cops. It's sort of part of the whole thing. You're saying it like it's an anomaly. And it's like a whole thing.
I only said it like that because I've been getting my balls busted for the last 10 years over it.
Well, that doesn't make sense also. But sure, yeah, so this crazy, out of nowhere woman cop shows up. Well, get this, she's a lady. Badge and everything. And I said, cook me dinner. You know what she said? She said, no, you're under arrest for a crime. I feel like the sign that was most flagrantly disobeyed in my childhood at the Y was in the locker room, and it said, please remain properly covered at all times. And I never witnessed that. I mean, I remember when I was 5, my mom brought me into the women's locker room, and I had never seen a vagina before. And then I saw 100 vaginas. And then When I was 6, she sent me into the men's locker room. I think the only thing more shocking than 100 vaginas is 100 penises at eye level. And they were grown-up penises. It's a surprisingly crucial detail, because I just had the 6-year-old penis, and then I'm looking at the grown-up penises, and I'm thinking, oh, no. This is gonna be a long life. And then I'm looking side to side for child penises. Please don't quote this out of context. I feel like we could end a career with a few sloppy keystrokes, but I feel like women are smarter than men. Their brains are more sophisticated, and they make 21 cents less than the dollar. I think women are smarter from birth. You ever talk to a 2-year-old girl? 2-year-old girl is like, would you like to have a tea party? 2-year-old boy is like, now what? And it doesn't get better. I mean, marginally better. If I were a woman, I'd be furious at all times. I'd be like, these morons are in charge of anything? How did this happen? I walked to my apartment where I live with my wife, Jenny, and our daughter, Una, who was 3 years old at the time, which is an amazing age, but if you have a child that young, you know that your apartment becomes what would happen if you had a rave at a bakery. You know, it's just sparkles and glow sticks and bubble makers, and everyone's like, do you have water? And all kinds of arts and crafts. We paint all over the walls because it's a rental, and there's like dinosaurs and people. It's like a creationism museum. And I hobble onto a 6:30 a.m. flight, and sure enough, there's a baby across the aisle screaming at the top of his lungs. And in that moment, I can't defend this, but in that moment, I remember thinking, that baby doesn't need to be anywhere. You know what I mean by that? Like, I can't even begin to defend it. It's just how I felt. I was like, it doesn't know it lives in Boston. It doesn't know what New York City is. I'm wearing noise-canceling headphones, which apparently are not enough. You need baby-canceling headphones, which are condoms, I guess. But look, I think we got to get babies off planes. I feel like we got rid of smoking in the 80s. We can get rid of babies now, or bring back smoking and get these babies some cigarettes, because they're...
Think about jokes. You can't tell jokes in life almost ever, like at work or school or the airport is a great example. I read a story where a guy sneezed on the plane, looks around, and he goes, I have Ebola. Here's why that's not a good joke. They landed the plane. And they're met by the guys in hazmat suits, and his defense was, I'm joking. Which is always his catch-all defense when people say dumb things. Like, you can't tell jokes at work, basically, because at some point in history, some idiot showed up at work and was like, nice tits, Betsy. And Betsy's like, what? And that guy's like, I'm joking. And the boss is like, oh, no more jokes. Jokes have been ruined by people who aren't good at telling jokes. A joke should never end with, I'm joking, or get her done.
So then I'm trying to out-silly Una, you know. I make up a penguin joke. I go like, what does the penguin say to her parents when she's hungry? And she says, what? And I said, what'll we have for dinner? And don't feel like you have to laugh at that. It's not for you. I write some jokes for you. I write some for my daughter. What you need to know for the story is that it killed. You know, like, Una's like, what'll we have for dinner? Because kids love puns, and all toddlers sort of have a Boston accent. You know, they're like, I'm tired, and Boston toddlers are like, I'm wicked tired.
Well, last summer, my wife and I went on a trip to Massachusetts, and I called it Catsachusetts, which is not funny, but in our house was the joke of the year. I was like, we're going to Catsachusetts. My wife was like, ah! I was like, ah! Our cat was like, ah! Because everyone loves a good pun when you have a cat. So we drive to Catsachusetts. When we arrive, my wife has a headache and she asks me if I'll acclimate Ivan, that's our cat, to the bedroom. Because he's an indoor cat and you can't just put an indoor cat into a house because he'll explode. And I bring him in the bedroom, and while I'm there, my wife discovers that there were mice in the house, and it was worse than just mice. They were parasitic mice. They have toxoplasmosis, which means they have a parasite in them, and they want it in you. So they're unafraid of cats, and they're unafraid of people. We discovered this because my wife was watching TV on the couch, and she looked next to her, and there was a mouse, and he was watching TV also. And she screamed, and he just looked up at her like Stuart Little, like, hey, what's going on? I don't like this show either. I don't know why all those women would want to marry that one guy. She pushes him off the couch, and he doesn't even run away. He doesn't even scurry, which is a verb invented for mice. He just walks into the kitchen like a roommate. He was like, fine, I'll go in the other room. I just think you're overreacting. Then he did a confessional into the mouse cam in the kitchen. He was like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to win. I was here before they came. I'll be here when they're gone. I'm a mouse. That's from Real Housewives of Catsachusetts.
We're not an I love you family. We say, take care. It's okay for you to laugh at that, because it's not the same. At all. It's actually not even that similar. It's an unusual substitution, because first of all, it doesn't have the word love in it. Second of all, it's sort of a passive-aggressive command. Like, I'm gonna need you to do something for me. Take care, you know what I mean? And tried to reverse this like in subtle ways over the years. Like one year for Mother's Day, I called my mom. I go, Mom, I really appreciate you. And it was silent on the other end for a few moments, and then she said, bye now.
And I'm nervous because I'm afraid of cops. I always thought I was most afraid of bears, but at least if a bear kills you, everyone gets mad at the bear. If a cop kills you, 30% of Americans are like, it's a hard job. You know what I mean? Like if a bear kills you, they don't have a bear press conference where all the bears stand behind the murderous bear in solidarity, and the bear commissioner steps forward and he's like, he's usually a pretty good bear. He usually just eats honey and is unaware of bees. I don't have a swimmer's body. I have almost a drowner's body where it looks like I'm drowning at all times, even when I'm not near water. Even shirtless and dry, people are like, are you okay? You know, it's sort of a river corpse body. And so I'm blending water for 90 seconds until I'm convinced I'm on the verge of my own death, and then I stand up. It's about 4 feet of water, and I get out of the pool, I dry myself off with 15 or 20 of those dish rag size YMCA towels. I put one under each foot, because Vanessa explains there can be fungus in the puddles, and I'm thinking this place is a death trap. I gotta get the hell out of here. Trying to get some cardio in now, mainlining spores, and then I walk over to the swim desk. I go into Vanessa, now that you've evaluated my level, is it possible we could book a swim lesson? She says, I just don't think I have time for that in my schedule. Which means I had auditioned for swim lessons, and I didn't get the part.